Hello, today we are about to discuss the 2019 Capital One data breach. Here's a little disclaimer. The entities affected by the cyber breach have not disclosed all of the details about the incident publicly, and likely will not do so in the future. However, sufficient information is available online and within the cybersecurity community to infer the probable events during the breach. While efforts have been made to ensure the accuracy of the information provided, the presenter assumes no responsibility for its accuracy or the consequences of its use. Thank you. Here's some of our sources information. This case study is adapted from the 2019 Capital One data breach, utilizing information from public sources and modified for educational purposes. For further details, please refer to the additional resource provided in this presentation. Read me real quick. So the learning objectives for today. Explain cloud security and web security. Be able to describe security and privacy violations that occurred in the Capital One data breach, and list some of the common protection mechanisms for cloud security and web security. So a little introduction. Capital One is a major American bank holding company. It specializes in credit cards, auto loans, banking, and savings accounts. It is one of the largest banks in the U.S. and ranks 106th on the Fortune 500. Capital One is the third largest issuer of Visa and MasterCards and one of the largest car finance companies in the country. Capital One operates roughly 750 branches across the United States. So on July 29th, 2019, news broke about the Capital One data breach. The breach potentially impacted as many as 100 million U.S. consumers. Credit card application data, including sensitive personal information, was compromised. For more information, we are going to refer to this little YouTube video here.
More than 100 million Capital One credit card customers and applicants across the U.S. and Canada have been affected by a massive data breach. The company said yesterday a Seattle woman is under arrest. She's accused of stealing personal information from credit card applications. CTM consumer investigative correspondent Anna Werner is here. Anna, good morning.
Good morning. Capital One says this breach was discovered on July 19th. They say the system's vulnerability was immediately fixed, but not before the hacker stole personal data on thousands of customers. That includes about 140,000 Social Security numbers in the U.S., as well as 80,000 linked bank account numbers. The company says the bulk of the hacked data was from consumers and small businesses who applied for credit cards between 2005 and early 2019. The woman the FBI says is responsible for the hack, Paige A. Thompson, a former software engineer for Amazon. She's been charged with computer fraud and abuse after authorities say she bragged about the hack online. Now, this news, of course, comes a week after the credit monitoring agency Equifax agreed to pay up to $700 million for a 2017 data breach that exposed personal and financial information of about 147 million Americans. Capital One says it believes it's unlikely the information was used for fraud, but it says it'll continue to investigate and offer free credit monitoring services to those affected.
So, Anna, if you're a Capital One customer, how do you find out if you've been compromised, and what do you do to protect yourself?
So Capital One says it's going to be notifying individuals who have been affected by this breach, but they say if you recently...
Okay, I think that's probably sufficient for right now, and if you wish to see more, you can go to that YouTube video. The URL is right here for you. So, Cybersecurity 101 again. Attack simplicity. So basically the breach was a result of another relatively simple attack. It was a vulnerability exploitation. So data was stolen from Capital One's cloud infrastructure due to their firewall issues. These issues opened the door for the attacker. There was also a massive detection failure as Capital One's IT systems failed to notice the breach. As soon as they discovered the breach, which was actually an outsider discovered the breach after a hacker had posted the data on GitHub. The FBI was subsequently involved in the investigation. So who is the hacker? As it was explained here, the breach was an insider attack carried out by a former Amazon cloud employee. The hacker, who left Amazon in 2016, uploaded all the stolen data to GitHub, and she even boasted about her actions on social media. The background of this hacker, interestingly enough, this hacker was self-taught individual, which highlights the growing threat of insider attacks from those without traditional technical skills and access. So understanding cloud security. So cloud security involves a comprehensive set of policies, technologies, and controls. These are designed to protect data, applications, and services within cloud environments. Security measures need to be integrated at almost every layer. Well, at every layer, I mean. Whether infrastructure, platform, or software as a service, it needs to be implemented. Some of the best practices, adopting cloud security best practices involves thorough risk assessments, robust security architectures, and continuous improvements in response to the emerging threats and advancements in technologies. So some of the key components, robust identity and access management, IAM, practices ensure that only authorized users can access and control settings when it comes to sensitive data and applications. Access control, implementing least privilege access, multi-factor authentication, and regular access reviews are crucial in preventing unauthorized access. And encryption, so encryption obviously is essential for protecting both data and at both rest and when it's in transit. Continuous monitoring, so security configuration should be continuously monitored and audited, leveraging automated tools to detect misconfigurations and also vulnerabilities. And then obviously updates and patch management. Regular updates and patch management are both critical to address newly discovered vulnerabilities and newly emerging technologies. So understanding kind of insider attacks. So insider attacks involve malicious activities by individuals within an organization who have legitimate access to its systems, networks, or data. So people who didn't get, people who haven't stolen credentials but actually have them on their own. These insiders can be current or former employees, contractors, or business associates. Motivations for insider attacks can vary, including financial gain, revenge, ideological beliefs, or coercion. Insider attacks are particularly challenging because insiders often have in-depth knowledge of the organization's systems and security measures, making their actions really difficult to detect. So mitigating internal insider threats. It requires a combination of technical controls, policy enforcement, and also cultural initiatives. Implementing robust access controls, regular audits, and anomaly detection systems that would flag unusual behaviors indicative of an insider threat could also be helpful. Also, the policies should enforce principles such as least privileges, separation of duties, and job rotation to reduce the risk of the misuse of the access of privileges. And then cultural initiatives, as I previously mentioned, you can create a positive organizational culture within an organization with transparent communication and support systems that would help mitigate the motivations behind some of the insider attacks, like when it comes to ideological beliefs and also revenge. Let's move on. So the discussion questions. What were the primary factors that allowed the Capital One breach to occur, and how could these vulnerabilities have been mitigated? How does cloud security differ from traditional IT security, and what specific challenges does it pose? In the context of insider attacks, how can organizations balance the need for access with the necessity of protecting sensitive information? And all right, here's our resources. Feel free to check out any of these, and thank you for listening today. Bye-bye.